Would you agree with me that you only respect and honor the things that you connect to? Oh boy, do I have a good one for you today. I actually just discovered this quote not long ago, and it goes as follows: As in water, face answereth to face, so the heart of man to man. As in water, face answereth to face. So once there's water, when you look into the water, you're going to see what? Your reflection. You're going to see your face. So the water is helping your face answer to your face, right? So the water is going to reflect to you your face once you put your face over the water and look into it, right? In that very same manner, so the heart of man to man. This is what we call a vibe. This is what we call now a vibe. Like, I just connect with this person. This person has a good vibe. This person just has good energy, and I just connect to their energy. So this is exactly what it is. Your hearts have connected. Would you agree with me that a person can be respected and be connected with a person for something that they have or something about them, but not themselves entirely? So maybe the person has something that is admirable about the other person. Maybe I always wanted to speak better. So if I find someone who speaks good, then I would have an affinity towards them. I would gravitate towards them because of this thing they have, which I would like to be appreciated for as well, right? So it is not like this person is like philanthropic, or this person is kind-hearted or something like that. But there's this thing about the person that I connect to, right? So that is also connected to my heart. Therefore, this person and I will most likely have a connection because we have that mutual ground, right? So the connection is not only on you as a human being entirely, but there's a basis of the connection, right? Your heart is connected to something, and that person has reflected that thing. So your heart connects to that thing. That is the reflection, something you care about. I've gotten people mention, oh, you've got good skin, so I know, okay, they care about good skin. Oh, well, you dress well, so I know, okay, they care about dressing well. Oh, you've got dimples, I know they care about, okay. They pay attention to like all these little things, right? So this is what the connection is, where a person's heart is. You would appreciate someone who's got something that maybe is an insecurity for you, right? You're insecure about this certain thing, and this other person has got maybe that field figured out. Unfortunately, if it's like a body that you cannot work towards, you would go ahead and purchase it. Okay, I'm not going to get into that topic. But if it's something that is an insecurity, right? That I've always wanted to be in good shape, and I admire this person for being in such good physical shape. I admire how they actually go ahead and, fight against themselves and get to the gym. They take care of themselves, whatsoever it may be. But that connection that you have with the thing in your heart, once you see it manifested by another person, you connect with that, right? So that will be a basis of connection. So that is not to say that because your heart is connected to this thing, then that person is now also going to be like open to being friends with you because you care about this thing that they care about, right? A true connection is when the hearts reflect each other. A true connection is when the hearts reflect each other. So the heart of man to man. So when the hearts reflect each other, right, then you both see a mutual interest in actually bonding with the person, getting to know the person, growing with the person, whatsoever it may be. So with this, there is a downside to everything. There's a law of polarities, right? So every good, there's bad. For every up, there's down. For every left, there's right. For every side, there's another, right? That's the law of polarity. Now, I've understood that every single connection is genuine. Every single connection is authentic. Everybody that is around you, they are genuinely around you. Like, they are not hypocritically around you. But the problem is this. When a person is around you, this is what happens. Right? So, you think they are there for whatever you hope they are there for, right? So what does this mean? A person comes to your life and they start talking to you, and the reason why it's important that their intentions are made clear, which is very seldom in all other human involvements and human interactions. a person would just come towards you and then they know why they see a reason to connect with you, but because you're the one being approached, it's not clear to you yet, right? You may have assumptions, and this is what happens. You could remain with the assumptions if the intentions hadn't been made clear, right? They see that they can get something out of you. They see that they could grow and develop in this certain field, in this certain way. They feel like they can benefit from being affiliated with you, right? But that was not communicated. So you think they are there because y'all work together, so okay, we're just gonna be friends, or because we're in the same school, or because they needed to make friends. You're gonna attribute that to something that makes sense to you. So that's what you're gonna think. But you're gonna hope that they are there for the same thing. You're gonna hope that they are there in your proximity for the same reasons why you think they are there. But instead, you need to do this. You need to call that connection what it actually is. You need to call that connection what it actually is, right? If it is for help, it is help. If it's disguised as friendship and you're expecting the person to respond back as a friend, then you get disappointed, right? Because you haven't called that connection what it actually is, right? You're probably their mentor and you are unaware of it. Or they're probably your mentor and you're probably not aware of it. You're like, oh no, I don't know why, I just like them. I just like them. Whilst whenever you're around them, they speak things that help you grow. They warm your heart. The things they say, the way they behave, you just connect with it. It just makes sense for you to be around such a person, right? Now, you're gonna call it friendship. You're gonna call it a relationship, like a romantic relationship. You're gonna call it we're just vibing. You're gonna say we're just vibing. And I find that a little bit irresponsible, but you say we're just vibing, right? But you're not calling the connection what it actually is. So now disappointment is bound to occur at any point in this, right? You're bound at some point to disappoint the other because you're not going to show up as they expect you to. You're only going to show up the way you can. So if they expect you to be a friend, but you're connecting with them because of something that is about them that you just gravitate towards. Sometimes you can't even explain it. It's like this, this mystical, wishy-washy, just, wild connection that we don't know how to define. We just hang out, we just vibe, we just connect. And when they're expecting you to show up as a friend, you're like, oh, I never thought to reach out to you. I never thought to check up on that. Or you just lost your job, or you just lost your mom, or you just lost this sibling, this relative. Oh, my condolences. And you back off. Why? Because you don't think you're on that kind of basis where you'd actually come and visit them, come and see them, right? You don't think the connection is as it is in their mind because the intentions weren't made clear. There's this point that I want to do now in correlation to money, right? Because if I ask people what is your relationship to money, they're going to tell me things that contribute to what their definition of money is. But that definition of money isn't your relationship with money, because if that was the case, you wouldn't be responding as you are with it, right? People do this. They use people. And they love money. Right? If they ask me, oh, would you do this for $1,000? Would you betray me? Would you take this offer? If they offered you to do blah, 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 would you for $1,000? Would you for $1,000,000? Right? The reason why that conversation even is a thing is because we just have a natural affinity to use people because of the love of money. And then this structure is backwards, right? We need instead to love people and use money. But the thing is this, our connection, our hearts are so connected to money and not connected to people. So the heart of man to man Our heart is so away to man. Our heart is so away to man. Man here is mankind, right? Human beings, not just male man. It is mankind, man. So our hearts is so connected to money and so disconnected to people that we can't even get to your heart. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here by the money. I'm stuck by the money. I love money. It is hard for me to love people because is money, people, money, I don't know. But you just gravitate naturally towards using people and loving money instead of loving people and using money, and even further, use the money. No, I can't spell money. There's an N in there. Remember we did this in school where you miss a letter? Okay. Use the money to love the people. Use the money to love the people. Use the money to love the people. Love the people. Don't love the money. You love the money. You use the people. I'm sorry. Y'all deserve better. Y'all deserve better than that. Okay. Use the money. Okay, what is this? What is this? What is this? Use the money. This is supposed to be an arrow. But use the money to love the people instead of using the people as you're loving the money. So every single connection is genuine, but your heart needs to be connected to the people, right? When the basis of the thing is the money. For instance, imagine this. Someone drives your dream car. Someone has your dream job, right? It is unfair to expect that person to respond as you intend them to, because they most likely there because they're like, listen, I've always wanted this thing, and I'm now in contact, in close proximity, at the reach of a person who has this thing I've always wanted. However they got it is one avenue. I will now know on how to get this thing. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to stick around. Yeah. They won't stick around. They're going to be helpful. They're going to be kind. Now it's going to be like, okay, now that you've gotten what you wanted, you now use me and dump me. They weren't there for you. If you didn't have that car, if you didn't have that job, if you didn't have that husband, if you didn't have whatsoever it may be, there wouldn't be, reflection. Nothing was going to answer to them. Like nothing about you is going to reflect anything about them. Their heart is connected to these things they would like to have, and you have them. Reevaluate all your friendships, all your relationships, all the people that you're in connection with, right? Why? Why are those people of all people the ones you choose and call to be your friends? Why are those people the ones that you decide to hang around with, have your birthdays with? You'll gift each other stuff for Christmas and all of that. Why? Because we know each other, we connect with each other, we love each other, so we say. I'm not speaking down on human interactions. I'm not one of those where I've given up on humanity. No. Or else I wouldn't be making these videos. I would just like to shine light on this. Maybe we've never considered it. Maybe things are this way because we've just never considered it, right? So I've not given up in humanity. So I'll help us consider it. This is disturbing me so much, right? So what we should do is now evaluate. Now that we know this, we should now evaluate. Why do I have the friends I have? Why am I working the job I'm working? I could have been working somewhere else. I could have been working in a whole different industry. I could have been affiliated with whole different people. Why do I go to that church? Why do I have an affinity towards that coffee shop? Why is it that whenever this friend calls me, I'm a bit more opened up, but when that other person calls me that expects me to respond to them as a friend, I don't have that to offer? Why? If that was interesting and you found that helpful and you'd like to answer to the why, I'd like for you to follow for more, because I am going to keep making videos to help bring to your consciousness things of such. I hope that was helpful. Tell me in the comment section if you disagree. And if you agree, once again, hey, I don't come here and present myself to be a know-it-all. And a little bit, I may be wrong. I've been wrong once in my life. It never happens. It seldom happens now. But I've been wrong once before in my life. Forget that. Why? Follow for more.